Now, when you hear the story that we killed 1 million or 2 million or 3 million people, no, not from the soldiers shooting people. It meant they have to go shooting the people right the way through. It is the people that became casualties were the people that Ojukwu and the Eastern government told to run away from these vandals, from these wicked people, from Gowon, the killer, etc. And of course, these people are running away, and as the area contracted because of our movement. And of course, I think most of people really died of either hunger, diseases, etc. Not really from the federal troops, shooting and killing people indiscriminately. It is only those who, took up arms, against.
Welcome to the program, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Now tell us about your growing up in Nigeria.
Well, as a young man, went to school in a village called Wusasa, a church missionary station, place called Wusasa in Zaria, and of course went to school, at the mission school, and then to government secondary school, federal government, northern government secondary school, now called Barewa, and then took my entrance examination for the military training, and then got my training. Went for my training in Teshi, Ghana, and then from there to the United Kingdom for for further training, and then back to the headquarters. And at that time, when Nigerianizing the officer of the Nigerian army, and I was posted, appointed as adjutant general of the Nigerian army. Well, that is, we are the principal staff officer. Okay. Dealing with administration, discipline, and promotion, etc.
Okay. Under the colonial.
Yes, and then Ojukwu was, we were promoted at the same time with Ojukwu.
Are you serious?
Ojukwu, he as a quartermaster general, okay. And David Ejo led the governor, former governor of the Midwest. He was the GSO1. After that course, I came back, and then within 36 hours of my arrival, yes, a coup took place, and all my colleagues, that we came from the same school. Malari, Koro Mohammed, Abogo Larigema, Yakubu Pam, and were all killed. And that one senior officer at the time, a colleague of mine who was the same set, an Igbo officer, he too was killed. Arthur Onegbe, he too was killed. I was the last one standing. So that was how the military came into power.
Now, can you give us the events that led to your becoming the head of states at the age of 31?
After the first, that coup, and things were back to order. A lot of problems in the country, riots here and killings here. And Ngozi was trying to get all the traditional rulers to have a meeting in Ibadan. The crisis got to the stage whereby Ngozi was kidnapped, taken by some young officers, and even though instruction was given that they should he must be kept safe, and moved to safety. That instruction was not obeyed by these young officers, and the next thing that I received report that he was killed, etc. And so for the next 2-3 days there was nobody in charge.
Was a vacuum.
There was vacuum, and so it got to the time when even the civil servants, senior civil servants in Lagos, they want at least somebody to give the command. Unfortunately, the chief of staff, then Brigadier Ogundipe, Brigadier General Ogundipe, was not able, to take control, because I think he had organized some soldiers, to go and either discipline, what was happening in Ikeja. And unfortunately, as a result of that, all other officers refused to take his command.
Okay.
So I had to go to Ikeja to try and sort out things. And when I went there, yes, true enough, they had to sort of accept my command. They said at that time they're not accepting any instruction from anyone else other than myself at that time. So, well, I was not honestly keen, and I remembered saying, well, if any of you junior ones want to do it, I want you can take it, but leave me. I want to sort of take charge of the army to restore the discipline, loyalty of the Nigerian army that I was in charge of as Adjutant General of the Nigerian army. I offered it to even the junior ones. However, on second thought later on, I said, I can now see. But then, the diplomatic corps also, they want at least anybody who can be listened to.
Wow.
So that is when it came to me. Now, the young officers said, no, they would not like anybody else other than myself.
Wow.
Other than myself.
That was a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, so I said, well, look, it is not now. So when it got to the stage whereby, yes, if that is the case, if they've said that, I made known to the other senior officers that we were in government together at the time, and of course, they said, well, look, I think the best thing that we should do is to accept something that can ensure that the military or the army is brought under control, and at least is loyal to whichever leadership that will come. So, that was, I think, at the time that I was being virtually asked, look, to take charge, take control, and I did. But when it became very clear to me that I was going to be the head of state, the fear that really came, on me, honestly, the fear that you have when you're about taking your school certificate, I don't know whether you remember.
What sustained you when you were in power, when you took over power after the vacuum?
Well, so in the end, what I had to do was that I asked, when it became abundantly clear that I cannot get away from it, I asked everybody to leave the room, and I went down on my knee and prayed to God that at least God knows that it is not my wish, my intention, that this should happen. But right the way through, He has seen me through. So I prayed to God to give me the courage of David and the wisdom of Solomon to be able to do the right thing for the country, for the people, and for our nation. And honestly, I must admit, after that prayer, I said, show me the way to do it.
You got your confidence.
My confidence returned. And I know that I cannot do it. I have not been in government. I know, yes, in the army, I know what to do. I can give various instructions. But what I needed now to do was to get the cooperation of other people outside even the army. And of course, since there are no politicians for me to discuss with or work with, at least there is the civil servants.
Okay.
The civil servants, in Nigeria, and of course, a number of them have been my permanent secretary, Ministry of Defense, and of course, some of them we had worked with, at various conferences, meeting, to discuss, the independence celebrations, at that time.
Wow.
And of course, so if I had to, depend on them, I said, well, how the government is done. You give advice to the government. So I'll rely on you, to help be able to, so that if we can work together in the interest, of the country.
You truly are a man of history. Now let's come to the Civil War. You led the Civil War. Can you tell us the lessons you learned after the war, so that the generations that has not encountered war will understand why it is necessary to maintain peace at all costs?
After the war, after the Civil War, I know what various people went through. Now, honestly, war is not something that you wanted to do. I was only forced to do it, but not to fight the people, the old people, the pregnant women, children, etc. No, I think it was, I gave instruction to the soldiers. There is an instruction how they are to behave, to look after, to protect the people, the older people, only those who take up arms against them. That was the thing. Now, when you hear the story that we killed 1 million or 2 million or 3 million people, no, not from the soldiers shooting people. It meant they have to go shooting the people right the way through. It is the people that became casualties were the people that Ojukwu and the Eastern government told to run away from these vandals, from these wicked people, from Gowon, the killer, etc. And of course, these people are running away, and as the area contracted because of our movement. And of course, I think most of people really died of either hunger, diseases, etc. Not really from the federal troops, shooting and killing people indiscriminately. It is only those who, took up arms, against. And at the end of the war, I said, and I prayed to God that Nigeria should never again go through experience, this sort of carnage.
So do you think the Igbos have been rehabilitated, reintegrated, and reconciled to Nigeria properly?
During the Civil War, a lot of the, before the Civil War, a lot of the Igbo people had to leave, the country. But it is not the federal government that moved them out. It was a call from Ojukwu himself that all Easterners should leave. All Easterners should live in all parts of the country, and because he was thinking or planning for probably secession at the time, and so a lot of people, left, had to leave because of that, of that call. Those that had to leave for fear of, the crisis that was taking place, were very few. Now, I understand that the chief, the Otumba Balogun had, a neighbor, next to him who left, who was staying next to him, Vice President Ekweme, and so he had to look after his house and even rented it for him, etc. And at the end of the Civil War, when I asked that we should adopt our 3 R's: reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. But there is also another R, reintegration. Reintegration, even though that can be included in the rehabilitation. In a program, but reintegration. But how about we call it 3 R's? Now, I understand that what he did in fulfillment of that policy, which Ekweme returned to Lagos, and then his friend the Tumba said, "Well, here is your house." He has renovated it. He had rented it to people, so he gave him back his house and all the money, the rent that he had collected. Honestly, that was one of the greatest things that helped, to fulfill our program, our effort to try to, bring the country together again, etc. So he played his part. As a Yoruba man, as from from the West, and as a Nigerian, that are called to do whatever we can in order to ensure that we're able to come back together again as a people and build a better nation. Now, that sort of thing also happened, I can assure you, in all parts of the country, in Kano, in Jos, in Zaria, in Kaduna, and in various parts of the country. A lot of the Igbo people left almost immediately as soon as the war was over. They went back and they got their property and whatever rent that was given to them. At least that helped, to bring about the reconciliation that is required in order for the country now to become one again and to move forward.
You are the initiator of the National Youth Service Corps. Do you think the objective for which it was set up has been met and sustained? Because there are also some schools of thought that are saying that it should be scrapped. What's your take, Your Excellency?
Now, I can tell you this, that they are very, very happy with it, and the improvement in the scheme from the way when it started during our time, but what they have now, the youth corps have done to all the states, states and local governments throughout the country, the improvement that they've made and the reputation they've had from people. I can assure you, today the improvement of the youth corps service is so much that it is the youth corps themselves that are saying, yes, please let it continue. let it continue, because it is giving us even new adventure. The whole idea was for the young people to know their country, Those who live in Lagos, send them to either Maiduguri or to Sokoto. Those from Sokoto, send them to Calabar or to Port Harcourt, so that they can learn how to swim. That really helped our young people to know themselves, and they will grow as knowing themselves as Nigerians. Not just part of their own particular area where they came from. So, I can assure you, that idea is a good idea, and to help the youth, and to me, anything that can do that, so that, because they would be the future of your country.
Your Excellency, of all your legacies, which is the closest to your heart?
I think, that I was able to keep the country together.
Okay.
And then, to ensure, we had the opportunity to really move this country beyond what it is before return to democracy. But we had a economic plan that would have taken this country beyond. Honestly, we are at the stage of even beginning to industrialize.
Yes.
After the Civil War, the development plan we had, that was for reconstruction, to help the country.
My people, this is the reason why a lot of people are even saying that there's no need for Yakubu Gowon to come out and tell us anything, because definitely he doesn't want to, say anything. That is it. Because at the end of the day, after you watch this video, you will see that he doesn't even want to take the responsibility of more than 3 million of Biafra that lost their life during that Biafra war. According to him, he said that it may be hunger or illness or this and that. Chai, my people. And also, he did not make mention of the Abure Accord. So, this is why people are saying that he needs to come out to talk about that particular issue, because that this headline that says that Nigeria people deserve clarity on what precisely was agreed upon between him and Ojukwu during that fateful meeting at Aburi. So this person said under this particular news, so the person said that Aburi Accord was a crucial meeting between Nigeria leaders, including Colonel Chukwuemeka Ojukwu and General Yakubu Gowon, held in Aburi, Ghana, on January 4th and 5th, 1967. The meeting aimed to resolve the country's internal conflict and prevent a civil war. So this person now said, yes, Yakubu Gowon needs to put to the rest how it began and ended. When the civil war could have been avoided after Aburi, Gowon needs to speak out before his death. Otherwise, he will be seen and remembered as a perpetual coward, the greatest coward in Nigeria history. The Yorubas knew about it. This person said, my own is that nothing should happen to Gowon until he spills the truth. Even if he has to stay 200 years, we don't care. This is exactly what people are requesting from Yakubu Gowon. As you can see, when you listen to this particular video here, you will see that he did not make mention of anything that brought about this war. So my people, I don't know whether people still want Gowon to come out to tell us like what really happened, because just as someone said that, okay, what if Gowon come out and lie just as he did in this particular video, because he doesn't want to take the responsibility of more than 3 million innocent Biafra people that lost their life because of this particular war. According to him, he said it may be illness or hunger or this and that. My people, this is what you're supposed to be expecting from Gowon, honestly. So this matter go really long. As I make I bring this update to you guys, share the video, like, and also subscribe if you haven't. Yes, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Through comment, we all learn, especially concerning this matter.